Hey everyone, Jeff Horowitz with Dentists in the Know, and you'll forgive my voice. It's only day one of the Chicago Midwinter Dental Meeting, and it's already going. So, don't know how it's going to work out later, but I think it's going to hold up for right now. And our second interview of the day is a great educational partner to Dentists in the Know, a company that I've worked with for several years now. It's really changed my practice. Yes, I am talking about Curve Dental. And with me is Jana Macon, who is the newer president of Curve Dental. And we're so excited to have you. It's amazing at what you've done. We also have Katie Franklin with Dental HQ, one of the great partners of Curve Dental. And we're going to talk a little bit about integration. So for any of our listeners or viewers that may not be familiar with the Curve product, give us the elevator pitch on why a practice can be so much more efficient using a practice management platform like Curve.
Yes, well, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Excited to have you.
Yeah, so I think the short story is this, that we want to make the business of dentistry easier, and we do that with a cloud-based end-to-end platform. We say all-in-one, but honestly, Jeff, everyone says all-in-one now.
Right.
So now no one knows, what does that mean? And what that means is every interaction you have with your patient, from your reminders, from your invitations to the office, from your marketing, all the way through to collecting the money from their bill, their patient bill, from their insurance, posting that all into your system, and the clinical and everything in between is in one platform. And what we find is that one platform makes it safer, it's more secure, the workflows are easier, which is the most impactful thing that even you
I'm
right?
gonna speak to that for sure.
So that is why Curve is who it is that we've spent particularly the last 9 years, but this platform has been around for about 20 years. We came into the scene about 9 years ago, and our goal was to do everything we could was to make the business of dentistry easier and to make dentists more effective and able to do what they want to do in their life, whether it's grow their practice or help their patients more or help their teams, whatever it is, that's what we're there to help.
I think the most important thing you said there was efficiency, and I think that that's something, because dentists don't go to business school, that they very often don't get. And not to sound insulting, but I mean, I was probably one of those people for a long time. But when you start to understand the power of time and what your team costs you to be there, and you know, for us, it's always more about, I want you taking care of patients when you're in front of patients. I don't want you tasked with a lot of other things that are going to distract you from the patient care and the attention. I want you focused on patients. And when we switched to the Curve platform, the first thing that I noticed was that my team had more time. They were spending more time with the patients. They could show things more quickly. They could get to things and access, data points. And the patients were taking less time for us to get, forms in ahead of time. So it really created efficiency for everyone. And the power of time is just huge. And I hope that that's the message that comes across. So tell us about some of the things that Curve is doing, how you're maybe different than some of the other platforms. We talked about the fact that you're cloud-based, which is everything to me. Being able to do anything from anywhere at any time revolutionized my practice, particularly when you have multiple locations. That's gigantic. But maybe talk about some of the partnerships that you've established and what you're doing maybe a little bit differently than some of the other practice management platforms that are out there.
Yeah. So our goal really is to have everything that we can, like I said, we call it kind of under the hood, right there for you. But we also want to be focused, like you want your team focused. We want to be focused on our core competencies. And where we can partner with great partners like Dental HQ, we're going to do that. But here's the thing you need to know about Curve is that we are the pickiest of the pickiest of who we choose to partner with. We don't choose to partner
This is
with
why
someone.
we get along. We're both picky.
So many people partner just about, well, you're going to give me a kickback so that I'm going to partner with you. And they kind of think it's a great job to have a booth wall full of partners. And we don't really feel that way. We feel like you have to have the right people who invest, who care about the customer experience, and who care about the industry. So when we decided to have a membership plan partnership, Dental HQ was our choice. Because they fit that bill over and over again. And Katie can tell you, a little bit about how they operate.
Yeah, let's hear about Dental HQ.
No, thanks, Jana. Yeah, we were super excited. Like, as Jana said, Dental HQ's been around since 2017. We were actually started by a dentist who runs a multi-location practice in North Carolina.
You have a great podcast voice, by the way. Not that you don't. I just had to interrupt and say that. It is powerful. It is strong. I like it.
You.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yes, we've been around for a while. Started by a dentist. He runs a 7-location practice, so we have a multi-location.
So an underachiever.
Yeah. Just a little.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've been working on hopefully forming a partnership with Curve for quite some time, and we were super excited when they decided to partner with us. So now our membership plan software, which helps practices to shift away from being so insurance dependent and being able to successfully offer their patients a great alternative, it's managed and automated directly in the Dental HQ platform.
Right.
Which, again, as you were saying, it will save your team time. It will allow the practice to be more efficient so they can focus on patient care and customer service. Things won't slip through the cracks. And now with our partnership with Curve, we're super excited that we're the only membership platform out there that can offer those direct integrations into Curve.
That is
super excited.
So amazing. So we developed a membership plan in my practice a long time ago. Do all the administration for it. And it's a pain in the ass, excuse me. It is a royal pain in the figuring out who signed up, when, at what time of the year does it turn over, and was this included? Did they sign up after they got this service because they get 10%? It has really always been a logistical nightmare. So maybe talk about why more practices should be integrating a membership plan, because it really does help you stay insurance independent.
Right. There's really a lot of benefits to having a membership plan. First of all, it helps you to attract and retain more cash patients. Once you bring those cash patients in and you have a membership plan, you get that financial commitment from those patients where they're going to be coming in more regularly, they're going to be keeping up with their preventive care, and then you offer them a treatment discount as part of their membership plan perks. That's going to motivate them to accept more treatment rather than deferring it until they're in pain or something breaks.
Right.
It's also a great alternative for those self-employed patients that have those self-funded insurance plans that are looking for a way to cut down on the costs and have access to better overall care.
Yeah.
So there's a great way of even converting patients from insurance over to the membership model. And just like you were mentioning, I was a former dental office manager for years. Started my own in-office plan, and just like our founder, Dr. Brett Wells, things slip through the cracks.
Yes.
It is a lot to keep up with, and
as good as you were.
As good as we were, yeah, right. But things will fall and slip, and when you find a way to automate it and take that administrative burden off of your plate, the membership plan can run very smoothly, and then you focus on just telling your patients about the great service that you offer, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to worry about all the tracking and managing.
Well, the fact that it's integrated, I think that's the key, right?
To me, the most fun part of all of this is that because of the integration, your front desk people don't have to do the selling.
Right.
They're gonna proactively send an email out to your people the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks so they can configure that, right?
Yes.
And say, hey, did you know we have a membership plan? We noticed
That
you don't have
is
insurance.
huge.
And then they can sign up. And now they just walk in and say, I signed up. Or they know, hey, you signed up for our plan. Let me.
Yes.
Because I find that to be maybe the biggest problem is that our front desk team, they're like, you didn't hire me to sell.
Yeah.
You hired me
Well,
to
and
take
they
care of
forget about
patients,
it.
right?
They're
busy.
inundated with all the busyness of running a front office, and they forget. It's an easy sell, but it's not going to sell itself.
Right.
So if the team is forgetting to mention it, that's what's nice about the Curve integration is that it scans the patients who are scheduled, and it sends automatic invites to those patients prior to their appointment.
Love
so
that.
it's motivating them to sign up. They're coming into the office, they're signed up, they're ready to start using their plan.
Well, what's great about that is that the conversation is had before the treatment plan comes. So it's not like this, I'm handing you a big treatment plan, patient gets sticker shock, and they're like, uh-oh, what are we going to do now? And now it's almost like the front office gets in defensive mode, like, well, we have this, and it almost sounds like they're just trying to figure out a way to make the sale, as opposed to saying, hey, before we ever get into anything, let's talk about these opportunities that are here for you to have long-term savings and for us not to be so locked into that plan of yours that's only going to give you $1,500, $2,000 anyway.
Right.
So
Yes.
I absolutely love this. So what are some other ways? I know you work a lot with AI.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about how Curve is working with AI and what the
Yes.
future looks like.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the fall, we announced our new sort of product set. We call it Curve Flow, FLO, like workflow, Curve Flow AI.
I've seen it.
Yes. And so we announced it, and it's there for people to read about, go to the webpage, but something that's part of my ethos for the company, our ethos for Curve, is that we don't like to talk about things before they're real or too long before they're real,
Right.
because there's too much of that in software. A lot of promises and not a lot of delivery. So we kind of let everyone know what's coming, what we had already with our partner Mango and Bola and some of the other partners that we're already integrated with that have AI capabilities, but also here's what's coming from us.
Right.
So if people that will see the product in the next, I would say 45 days, we'll start to see new prospect customers, we'll start to see ambient listening for restorative charting, perio charting, and clinical notes.
Nice.
So now my dental assistant is not like trying to keep up with me and get the words right and whatever. They can, if I need them for that particular appointment type, they can help me.
Right.
Chair side, which is probably much more interesting to them too. But then I can capture accurately what's happening in the visit.
Right.
And now as a doctor, something that I hear from a lot of doctors I speak to is, I sit down at the end of the day and I look back through all my notes. And honestly, maybe I don't totally remember, but if it's your words, what you said went into the note, and now you could quickly look at it at the end of that visit. It was your words to start with. Maybe
Right.
there's a couple changes. You're going to sign it, and
Yeah.
now you're done. Now I've saved you time and or your staff time at the end of the day, and it's accurate.
Yeah, that's an efficiency thing, but it's also a CYA thing.
Yes.
So I do a lot of legal defense work.
Okay.
So, I serve as an expert witness in South Carolina for a lot of cases. And where most of the dentists are doing the right thing. They are trying to do the right thing. There's really no true malpractice in the case. And where they always get into trouble is the charting.
Yeah.
It's, the old saying, if it didn't get written, it didn't happen.
That's right.
There's some truth to that,
Yes.
but there's a lot of truth to not having everything down on the day at the time that you
Yes.
did it. Because,
Yes.
like you said, even the end of the day notes,
Yes.
something is forgotten.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because what
yeah.
you saw 20,
Especially
or
when you
if
get
you're
to
in
my
peds, you
age.
saw 100. You've seen so many patients that you can't
Yeah.
do it. So,
Yeah.
so that's our first exciting thing that's coming out. What we're also working with in parallel is we're building out AI capabilities for revenue cycle management or for collections and working claims. And here's how we think about that. In my 25 years of software and in medical software, me and my team are very familiar with revenue cycle for very difficult billing. So we kind of have a good idea where we need to go. We're pulling some experts in to make sure we get it exactly right. But the idea is obviously clean claims up front. So when I'm setting my appointment, when I'm setting the visit, when I'm documenting, like all those things.
Right,
that
X-ray
depends
gets
on
sent.
people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we need to like alert you if it needs an attachment. That's happening now. And so then the next step is, once the claim is kind of built, do we have the ability for the AI based on the fact that we have 20 years of data, claims data, and the power of AI comes from the amount of data that you have to pull
100%,
from.
yeah.
So we can now, we'll be able to recognize the things that are common mistakes, things that are always getting you a denial code, things that are always getting you a rejection, whatever. So the dream state, the end state would be that your rejected claims goes down to nearly zero, and you're getting paid the first time through.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting for efficiency, but also for getting paid for the work that you do.
Yeah.
It kind of takes more out of the hands of humans who are smart and well-meaning and have a ton of tribal knowledge, but we're still human.
That's absolutely right.
And to me, the point of AI and where everyone's, a little uneasy, is it going to get rid of my job? Is it going to, what's going to happen? Is we have to say, let's let AI do the redundant, step-by-step work.
Let
that
it
can
crunch
do,
data.
Right?
Let
so I can talk
yeah.
to people. Right?
Yeah.
I can take care of patients. I'm not going to have my head buried on a phone
Yeah.
or in the computer, right? Because it can do the work for us.
Yeah.
So that is the goal.
I don't want it to be the first touch point with my patient. Like I want that human interaction there, but data crunching and being able to better serve the revenue cycle in the practice. What I love about that is so many dentists, we've seen this trend where dentists feeling like they have to sell to DSO because they can't compete. I don't have the team that can negotiate. I don't have the team that can get my money in the same amount of time. I don't have the resources to be able to negotiate and do all of these things. I don't have somebody doing this piece, this piece, this piece. And what I think AI is doing is it's taking so many of those tasks and it's allowing the individual, or the small group,
Yes.
or, the person who really wants to stay independent. It's just offering all of those things to them.
It does level the playing field.
Right, and it levels the playing field. So, that people don't have to feel like I can't compete anymore.
Yes,
So love
absolutely,
it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love it.
The last thing not the last thing I'll reveal today that's coming.
You've already
after
told
that.
me some
I
secrets that I'm not
know,
going to tell.
I know. There's so many. We're so excited.
That's the next episode, folks.
That's right.
Yeah.
What we've done fundamentally is that we are leaning into an AI first.
My chair is
mindset.
twisting
Oh,
automatically to
you
the
okay?
right. Yeah, but I just didn't want to seem like I'm getting rude because I'm kind of giving you one of these. I really just want you to see my profile. Yeah, it's a good one.
No, the focus.
I'm
that
sorry.
We have. No, it's okay. The focus that we have is to lean completely into the benefits of AI from a development perspective. That is something that the software companies that will survive will do that.
Yeah.
And so what you're about to see is a huge shift in dental specifically. It's been a bit slow to move to the cloud or move to modern platform because they'll begin to see the gap get wider and wider of what you can do with 6 people on your team, and they've got 15 people on their team doing the same thing, and then they have a server that's failing, and they have all these other things. And the thing that I think people are going to get more aware of, but part of education is to tell them, is if I have a core software system that is a client server-based software system, and I have 5 or 6 or 7 add-on products around that system because you need it to feel
Right.
modern at all, right, to your patients or whatever. Every connection that I have increases my threat vector to getting hacked. And I don't talk about it a lot because it feels like fear-mongering,
Yeah.
but I feel like we're getting to a moment where we have to be brutally honest.
100%.
Our people are going to be
Yeah.
hurt. They're going to walk in one day and say, what happened to my practice or what happened to my retirement?
Yeah.
And people don't talk about it when it happens. It happens a lot more than it's kind of out there.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
You probably have friends and you promise not to tell because nobody wants to let it out. But it's real, and we have to be real about that.
I think that's a great point. And there's also another elephant in the room, and let's just get it out there, which is I think the single greatest fear that a lot of dentists have, or the biggest barrier to making a move and becoming a futuristic dentist and becoming more efficient through a platform like Curve, the biggest fear is just that change. It's nothing scares a dental team more or fights more resistance than saying, we're going to change our practice management platform, because everyone just gets so comfortable.
Yes.
But I want to speak to this because we moved from a server-based platform where maybe we had a few issues, and they were becoming more frequent. As we got to the end, I realized that we needed to be in the cloud, which has been amazing. What was incredible about our move to Curve from the practice management system we were on was that, yes, I got that initial pushback. But even in the pre-training, before we ever moved over completely, my team was like, oh my God, that's so much easier. Oh my God. And I never expected that. Like, they were all mad at me. But dentists really need to take that leap of faith when they're working with a company where the customer support is as good as Curve's is, where the people are as good, where the promises are kept, and where, look, we're going to get your team comfortable before this ever happens. So, you're not just being left out there on an island.
That's right.
And so for my team, and actually a lecture that I did I actually had all the quotes from my team after our
terrific.
conversion. I still have that. I will
I would love to see
give.
that.
Yeah, you can use it on your website if you want. But it was the comments from everyone on my team about how moving to Curve, even though they were resistant, has really changed their effectiveness.
Yes.
And how efficient that they could be.
Yes.
So what I just want to throw that elephant
you.
out of the room, because as much pushback as you get, it will be so much better
Yes.
after, and you will save so much money.
Part of that, I mean, Curve and Kristen Smith, who's our VP of customer success, is this way as well. But about 15 years of my software world life has been in implementation and training. So I have really a soft spot in my heart for it,
Yeah.
because I understand if we take care of the customers will take care of us. And for me, I'll tell you that we charge about 25% of what it actually costs us to get people onboarded, because of the level of white glove help
Yeah.
that we bring to the process.
Yeah.
And this is why.
Yeah.
Because 4 years later, 5 years later, you're still a customer. You have a good memory of a very hard process, but we got through it,
Right.
and it's good, and it's transformed your practice.
Completely.
So it's a critical moment, and we want to be there for our customers, but we have to do the right things.
Yeah.
And that's what we do to make it successful.
And a piece of that is the education piece, which you are all so committed to.
Yes.
I mean, you support quality education, which that means so much. And that's why we're a partner with you, is because, it's really easy to just be out there selling a product. It's something else to go out there and say, we don't want you just to buy this product. We want you to understand this product, and then you're going to want to have this
Yes.
product.
Yes.
And so with AI, that can be an intimidating factor, especially older dentists. Oh my gosh, this AI stuff, it scares me, whatever.
Yes.
But the education piece of that is just, the first thing, sit them down, let them understand what it is, let them understand what it's going to do. It's not going to take over your life,
Yes, that's
know.
right. That's right.
And so your commitment to that has
Well, thank you. Yeah,
been
it's
amazing.
very important. And let me say one thing on the AI, because you make a very good point. Our strategy is to embed AI into the core pillars of the software. So things that you recognize, right? Scheduling, charting, billing, patient engagement. And so it's there to help.
Yeah, you're
To
not firing your
augment.
receptionist,
Yes.
people, okay?
Right. You may have less.
Yeah,
You may
yeah.
not worry as much if she
Right.
calls in sick.
Yeah.
But you're still going to have her, right?
Yeah. I love it. So what else, what's the future look like?
I think the future looks like.
I know you can't give away all the secrets,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but you're a visionary.
Yeah.
So I just want to hear what's going on in that head of yours.
Yeah. I think really the future and where we're headed is to say every single thing in the flow of how an office needs to run, we need to handle it, and we need to make it simpler. We need to simplify it. So less things for the humans to learn, more work that the computer through AI can actually do and do it right. And we want to do it thoughtfully. So, for example, I said to my team, we're not, and they all agree, but my first thing was, we are not just slapping the 2 letters AI on anything.
Right.
Like, it's going to be the real deal AI, or we're not doing it.
That's awesome.
And, our executive team was like, absolutely. So we've been not the first ones in market with an AI something, right? But we are maybe the first practice management with a real in-depth AI solution that is within our platform.
Yeah.
And it will work and it will be right.
And confidence.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And so that's so for me, my dream is that you have a receptionist that is able to talk to the people, that are able to make them aware of a membership plan or things that can help them do business with you easier, right? When we make it easier for patients to do business with us, then we're going to get more patients. They're going to be happy. They're not going to leave, right?
Yeah.
And so because of the shift that happened after the pandemic, consumer expectations are through the roof. And it is very hard with traditional models to keep up with those expectations. So to me, you need a partner, not a vendor, software
Right.
vendor. You need a partner that is committed to investing in flattening out all that complexity and giving you a system that's going to make it easier for your patients to do business with you, for your team to help your patients, for you to do the work that you want to do. That's the vision.
And that
that's where
is
we're
your
going.
business. Like
Yes.
your practice management platform is your business.
It's
I mean,
it's everything.
for the dentistry's easy. I mean, we
Right.
went to school for a long time. We do a lot of CE. That part is easy.
Yeah.
It's everything that you guys are covering and everything that you're doing. I love the membership plan. I love that that's integrated.
We need to get
I
that in your
cannot
practice.
wait.
I can't talk to
I
can't wait to
cannot
talk to
wait.
you.
He'll call you next
The-
week.
I'm going to.
Yeah, ours is called the ADP, the Advanced Dental Plan,
Okay.
and I can't wait to kick that to the curb, not curve. Yeah,
We're
yeah.
going to take it to a whole new level.
I
for
love
you.
it. All right. Well, Jana, Katie,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for
Thank
joining us.
you.
Thank you for being great partners to Dentists in the Know. Thank you for your dedication to customer service, to making dental office life easier, more efficient, and thank you for being friends.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Great to see you both.
Take care.
Enjoy the show. All right, guys. From the Chicago Midwinter Dental Meeting, Jeff Horowitz, Dentist in the Know. Hope you have a great day. And please, if you're here, go visit Curve. Have a great day.